Chain, the sinews of industry. No other material combines its high tensile strength and extreme flexibility. Chain has played an important role in the development of South Africa. And for more than 50 years, McKinnon Chain, the country's most experienced chain manufacturer, has been forging links with virtually every sector of the economy. Half a century of local experience and know-how, of responding to the needs and requirements of South African business and industry, has built a company with a tradition of innovation, quality production, and reliable service. Now, McKinnon Chain is a wholly owned and self-sufficient South African company. It enters its second half-century with the experience of age and the energy of youth, ready and eager to respond to the challenges of today. McKinnon Chain's production facilities are at Vereeniging in the Transvaal, one of the largest modern chain factories in the world. From a modest 30 tons a month, production has risen to the point where the company now makes virtually every type of round-link chain. It supplies more than 75% of South Africa's needs and exports on a regular basis to 26 international markets. The story of McKinnon goes back to the smoky landscape of England in 1850, when a young boy first went to work in his father's chain-making shop. 50 years later, as a craftsman in chain, Jethro Billingham had left England behind and taken his skills to the United States of America, to Ohio and the Columbus Chain Company. In 1917, Columbus merged with another chain maker, and the paths of the craftsman from England and the industrialist, in the shape of Lachlan Ebenezer McKinnon from Canada, came together. The Columbus McKinnon Chain Company was formed, and over the years was to grow to be the industry's leader in developing chain-making technology. Ebenezer saw the world as his market, and pretty soon had developed a useful export trade with South Africa, supplying chain for the giant ox wagon teams and for the gold mines. By the mid-1930s, the market was large enough for McKinnon to look seriously at the idea of establishing a factory here. And in 1935, Frank Stahl sailed with his team for South Africa to establish McKinnon's first factory abroad, at Vereeniging in the Transvaal. On the 4th of July 1935, McKinnon Chain South Africa started production, and before long was producing, quite literally, chain for Africa. By the end of the 1960s, the company had outgrown its original factory, and a satellite factory was set up at Pietermaritzburg in Natal. But by the early 1980s, it needed to expand again. Land became available in Vereeniging, and McKinnon designed and built a new factory, close to its original site, which it was planned would eventually house all of the company's chain manufacturing facilities. In 1987, as a result of a management buyout exercise within the Columbus McKinnon Corporation of America, a number of McKinnon-associated companies around the world were offered the opportunity to take over local ownership.
Of getting into the forging of mild steel shackles and rope clamps, which are all large volume items. Our products in the grade 800 range, such as hammerlocks and...
The board of directors of McKinnon South Africa decided to take up the challenge. And on the 1st of April 1987, after more than half a century of production in this country, McKinnon Chain became a wholly owned South African company. As part of the buyout agreement, McKinnon will have permanent access to all of Columbus McKinnon's highly respected chain-making technology, as well as to the designs, patents, and brand names of its present and future range of chain and chain fittings. In June 1988, the production facilities at Pietermaritzburg were consolidated with those of the new factory at Vereeniging to bring all of McKinnon's chain manufacturing operations under one roof. This eliminates the duplication of facilities, streamlines production, and will make for better cost control and price stability. As a rule, McKinnon holds enough raw material in stock to cover 8 weeks of production. mostly coils of rolled rod in the range of diameters required for all of its standard products. Over the last 10 years or so, in collaboration with the South African steel industry, McKinnon has developed specific formulations for high-grade steels to meet its requirements for the production of advanced technology chain. As a result, for many years now, all its steel supplies have come from local sources. For the heavier chains, those between 28 and 70 millimeters in diameter, the raw material comes in the form of straight bars. The first step in the manufacturing process is pickling. The acid cleans the coils by removing corrosion and mill scale from the steel. The coils are then coated with lime, which acts as a carrier for the lubricant used in the next stage, wire drawing. Wire drawing is primarily a sizing operation to ensure that the wire diameter is to the consistently close tolerance required by the specifications. This also helps the material feed through the chain-making machines without problems. The automatic chain-making machines are designed and built by Columbus McKinnon Corporation of the United States, the only machines in the world made by chain makers for chain makers. The wire is cut to the correct length, the end chamfered to ensure a strong weld, and an ingenious mechanism forms the links and assembles them into continuous chain. These McKinnon machines, the largest automatic electric resistance chain welders, and by far the biggest in the country, are able to turn out chain from raw material as big as 26 millimeters in diameter. The links are resistance welded, automatically trimmed or full trimmed for special applications, such as this conveyor chain. At the other end of the scale, the smallest round link chain produced automatically is just 4 millimeters in diameter. When it comes to the real heavyweights, the sheer size calls for an altogether more massive operation. Straight bars, as large as 70 millimeters in diameter, are cut to the correct length, hot formed and assembled into continuous chain. The links are then flash welded and the welds are trimmed to complete the operation. The newest flash welding machines do basically the same job, but have a greater degree of automation built into them. McKinnon chain is manufactured to national and international specifications and backed always by the company's own strict quality standards. At every stage of production, there are testing procedures and controls to ensure that quality is maintained. All raw material is subjected to spectrographic analysis before it's released to go into production to verify that it conforms to the company's requirements. The first check is done as the chain comes off the automatic welding machines. Every single link is visually inspected. Destruction tests to confirm weld quality are also carried out on samples taken at regular intervals from the chain machines. McKinnon's own specifications provide for higher break and proof loading than those generally called for by international standards. This 200-ton tester is used to proof load the heavyweights and special assemblies, including stud link and short link anchor chain to Lloyd's of London requirements. A magnetic particle crack detector using ultraviolet light picks out flaws that are otherwise invisible to the naked eye. Every single link produced is tested to its required proof load, at least double the working load limit, but in some cases up to 2.5 times. This ensures that the stated working load limit is completely safe. McKinnon makes chain in grades ranging from mild steel grade 300 to Herc alloy grade 800, as well as grade 1000 load chain, and highly specialized round link conveyor chains. Super 6 chain is a recent innovation developed to reduce the size of sugar and timber bundling chain assemblies and to make handling easier. In recognition of the fact that the company's quality control across the board is up to the highest standards, McKinnon chain was listed as a manufacturer of assessed capability to SABS 0157 rating in May 1987. At that time, only the 60th company in South Africa to have received this recognition. The company's pursuit of self-sufficiency led it to set up its own engineering section to maintain and rebuild the custom-built and specialized equipment that keeps it at the forefront of the country's chain-making technology.
Hierso het ons nou weer 'n off-center link, hy's kort aan die voorkant. En ons gaan nou al hierdie boude losmaak.
For the same reason, it developed its own in-house, on-the-job training programs to teach employees the peculiar skills that chain-making demands. The result is that McKinnon has developed its own expertise, and its trainees get the benefit of the best practical chain-making experience available. Back on the production line, chain assemblies and fittings are heat-treated by hardening and tempering. And these electronically controlled pit furnaces take care of batch production. Bulk production is handled in continuous furnaces. McKinnon today produces chain to meet the needs of almost every industry: manufacturing, mining, construction, agriculture and fisheries, sugar and forestry. It makes a dozen or more types of chain in 6 different grades, including Herc alloy 800, which with its wide range of fittings has revolutionized slinging and lifting in both the local market and overseas. Now, as an independent organization, McKinnon is free to enter into agreements with any overseas company to manufacture related products that could be useful to South Africa. This triangular master link, part of an assembly to handle rails for underground mine cars, is being designed to meet the needs of one of McKinnon's customers.
Though these links are easily accommodated in this at the moment, it's not allowing the customer room for his components to hang down. So we have to spread this much wider apart to give them the clearance of the clearance. Okay. The other problem, Derek, is that the customer now advises is that the hook they're using is much wider than we allowed for. So you'll have to expand this area so that it rests.
The new product development department is in line with McKinnon's growing commitment to servicing its customers' needs. And at the factory, there is also a section where chain assemblies are custom made. Another recent expansion has been the enlargement of the forging division. The in-house tool and die-making facilities were expanded so that production of McKinnon's own specialized range of chain fittings would be brought under the company's direct control. But it also has the capacity to do jobbing for other manufacturers and is playing an increasing role in the country's program of import replacement.